Good evening, leading ladies. We're back at it again, and we have another phenomenal guest. If you don't already know me, I'm the facilitator of this group. My name is Della Mack, leadership development consultant and career strategist. And tonight we have Miss Shana Jones. She is a business tech strategist and the founder of Brand New Identity. And I'll let her introduce herself a little bit more.
Hi, I'm so glad to be here with you, Bella. This is so exciting. I'm Shana Jones, and I'm a business tech strategist, and I'm the founder of Brand New Identity. I help ambitious individuals become visionaries about building multiple streams of income and online business. So I teach them about the various technologies that they can use to leverage their ideas and turn it into an online business. Um, and then also in addition to that, I'm a motivational speaker. I like to talk a lot about the importance of having multiple streams of income, not just to pay your bills or to build even wealth for your family, but it can really get you out of pickles. And pickles, I mean legal custody. It can get you out of just your car breaking down, just various things, and you're able to pull your income. You're able to get yourself out and have your family safe, as well as keeping them prosperous. And so a lot of people look at multiple streams of income as like a long-term wealth builder, which it is, but it can also be immediate beneficial to you and your family as you live life. And I have a sort of a weakness for single moms and women in business, because I myself, I don't think anyone starts off saying I want to be a single mom.
I don't.
But that's how life sometimes happens.
Yeah.
And it's really up to you to figure things out. And that's why during the prosperous times in your life, you should think about building at least the containers of the multiple streams of income so that when you enter your dry seasons, you have replenished to get through it. And if you look at your finances in that scenario with that vision in mind, you find yourself always building, always being prepared for the dry seasons, because no matter what we do in life, we're going to have a dry season, and they're going to come. And so the best part to be able to retaliate against the dry season is to have your stored reserve from the prosperous seasons. And that's what I feel more prominent to speak about, because a lot of times when we are like in the midst of adversity, we tend to want to just close up and just go in the corner and just be like, oh my goodness. But you have to learn how to take, 10 minutes, 1 hour to really sit down and visualize what you want your future to be, your immediate future, and then your long-term future, and then actually put those things in place so that you can actually be prepared for the dry seasons. And I think that's why I'm so everyone has their favorites. So my favorites is single moms and women in business.
All right.
But I help everyone. I help anyone who has an ambitious spirit to actually want to know what is this all about. I find a lot of business owners, when they come in, they're starting off freestyling it. Just recently, because I moved recently, and I had the moving owner of the company, and and that's also a part of knowing your market too.
Okay.
So as I'm looking for movers, right, to move me, I noticed that everyone has a specific process. They ask you, how much stuff is in your house? How big is your house? You know, where are you going to? Where's your destination? Well, the friend that used me, he didn't really do those things. But and I'm gonna say this, they did a great service.
Okay.
But just polishing up some of your processes and using technology to send invoices out, getting paid online. Before in the past, it was uneasy for some people to put their credit card numbers in for, with technology. But nowadays, it's a necessity. Like, I do not want to tell you my credit card number
I
over
sure
the
don't.
phone, right? I don't want to tell
Right.
you my address. I want you to have like a paper trail that
Of
I know
course.
you know me. And technology is the number one way to create that type of paper trail, and that trust level for this client and then your future clients. And that's why I always want to tell people, like, don't be afraid of the technology, but really embrace it and use it for your good, because it actually builds trust later on with your customers and clients.
All right, Shana with the nuggets already.
I'm trying.
I love that. I am a big advocate for multiple streams of income. So you starting out, talking a little bit more about your journey. Were you always into business tech solutions, and helping to build up, single moms and women? How did you start this journey?
Well, I've always been a techie.
Okay.
Always been a woman in tech. My mom
Really?
saw it when I was in elementary school. Um, they had the computers,
Hmm.
and I think it was like a parent teacher conference, and she came up there. And the first place that I told her was like, come over here. And I took her to the computer lab and I said, look, mom, I'm going to show you
Really?
this and show you that. Yes. And so she knew from that moment that I had a desire and had a love for computers.
Okay.
And then she actually nurtured that idea by
Love.
giving me my own computer, by teaching me just, she always taught me about business and financial stability.
Awesome.
But as times change, things get different. But what she did instill in me is the ability to be curious enough and not be fearful enough to just check something out. And I
Hmm.
think that's really the key, to actually wanting to grow, or actually growing and taking action, is just to be curious enough to say, hey, I want to check this out. Even when you don't know, being vulnerable is really big. Um, but ever since then, I knew that I wanted to um, build cartoons, say for Disney,
All
right?
right.
I was
That's
a Disney
different.
lover.
That's
Um,
different.
and so I was looking into college on, okay, so what do I need to know to do animation? And
Nice.
somebody told me, well, you got to do programming. And I was like, well, what degree is that? And it's like computer
Computer
science. I was
science.
like,
Mhm.
right. So I was like, okay, I want to do it. And so computer science have a lot of different subcategories. And so I got into the area of animation and programming, to make things move. And I was like, oh my goodness, okay, so this is kind of harder than what I
Intended.
expected.
Yeah.
And so then I went into application development and
Cool.
service. So now my dream has shifted toward doing Microsoft products versus doing animation and graphic design.
Nice.
And so I went to more of application and software development for my computer science degree. And so as when I graduated with my bachelor's in computer science,
Uh-huh.
I then went into get certified into SharePoint, Microsoft SharePoint.
No, that's
And
a
so,
good path. I don't think a lot of people
right.
actually find that path.
And literally, people ask me all the time, what made you choose SharePoint? Well, it was the salary cap that made me choose SharePoint. I literally, when I graduated, I was in my internship with Bauer Compressors.
Okay.
And I was doing their, I'm so sorry. Computer drop there. Sorry, my phone dropped. I was doing their Drupal and their open source development for their store and for their just getting them organized with people. And because I think they were like salesmen,
Okay.
Power Compressors, they're a huge company. They were a great company. And while I was sitting there, I was like, okay, so I'm graduated from college. What am I going to do?
We're
I
all
literally went to Dice.com. Dice.com was a website back in the day. I don't know if it's still up.
No,
but they
that is
only featured
something I don't know about.
right. They only featured IT jobs. And so instead of me trying to figure out what I want to do, I said, you know what? I know that I want to make a certain amount per year. I don't care what it is, as long as it's in tech. I want to make a certain amount per year. And I literally went down the open jobs and I looked in the salary column. And I saw SharePoint.
That's strategic. I like that.
Yes, I saw SharePoint, and SharePoint salary was where I wanted to be. And I said, what is SharePoint? What is this? And so then
what certification do I need?
Right. I Googled Microsoft SharePoint. And of course, because Microsoft is very awesome, they have a list of all the certifications you can take to be deemed to be able to work as a SharePoint administrator. And that's what I did. So I went, it was an initial investment from my mom. She actually purchased or allowed me to be able to get it was like a $5,000 boot camp into SharePoint.
Okay.
And like my mom has always been a supporter.
Yes, she has. I hear sirens. It's okay.
Sorry. And she literally got me into my first boot camp because I was just coming out of college. I didn't have much money. And when you do boot camps or Microsoft certified tests, financial aid does not work. Like you can't use those things. You got to come out of pocket. Yes. And so she did that initial investment for me. And from there, Microsoft puts you into this hiring bucket. You get your you get access to their website, the behind the scenes of continual education, and they put you into this bucket that a lot of managers have access to when they're looking for entry level. Because you always got to remember, and I think coming out of college and going straight into a certification, especially in Microsoft, I know from experience, they actually want you to get hired somewhere. So they put you into this bucket that you might not be able to see, but hiring managers in your area will see. And at that point, you are considered a cheap hire, right? Because SharePoint is a six-figure career. But when you're first starting out, they're trying to grab as many as they can at a lower rate.
I'm not
so
surprised.
It might be at 50 or 60 range, which is considered cheap in the overall career of a SharePoint farm admin or developer. And so they will pull you, and that's what happened to me. I got pulled into my first corporate position, and they just so happened to be a federal contracting company. And so they paid for my clearance. They paid for me to get a secret clearance.
Oh, you are working.
Yes. So my secret clearance didn't come from me having a background in the military, but God opened up that door for me right after I got my certification, and they paid for my clearance. And I had the entry level into that position. I stayed there for about 2 years. And then I became at that point a federal contractor working and supporting multiple different bases. So as my education grew, as my experience grew, and learning different things, I just moved from contract to contract, from branch to branch over a capacity of 10 years. And I would say, I remember I had a manager that told me, you'll make 5 figures easy in 5 years. And I did it in like 3 to 4 years.
Okay, growth.
Yes, but that came from me being ambitious enough to whereas, I was reading, you see my hand, books that were like this thick.
Oh, you were doing the work.
I was doing the work.
Okay.
And, one thing that I would say is to have confidence in yourself. So you'll look at the job rec and you're like, I don't qualify. I don't know any of this stuff. Well, you know what? If you can know a majority of what's up there and you can catch yourself up at higher, then do that. Take a chance on yourself,
Oh,
because they
that's my
create
word.
those job wrecks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they want Superman, right? And that
Of
he
course.
doesn't exist.
No, he
But
doesn't. But we exist.
right. But what they will do is they will take a chance on you for somebody who's an ambitious individual. And from there, you're learning a craft, you're learning how to build yourself in the corporate arena or any arena with people and project management and technology. And now you're able to start your own business and service others as a freelancer.
Yeah, because you had that
And
skill.
now you have, yes, and now you have your 9 to 5, and now you have another source of income. And then it just grows from there. You know, there's a lot of other ways that you can create sources of income from yourself. Contracting, a lot of people are uneasy with contracting. And I used to at first, because, you know,
It
you
seems
start
like
off with one,
complicating.
right? You start off with one contract and you say, well, what if it goes? What if I get laid off? But you know what? There's no security in the 9 to 5 anymore. There's no
Mm-hmm.
security. It's just as much a security as a freelancer than it is as a 9 to 5 job. It's just as much security as building a business for yourself as it is in an office corporate setting. Just as fast as they can hire you, they can let you go, and just as fast as you can put in a 2 weeks notice, they can tell you you have 2 weeks to go. And so you have to always keep that in mind and always trust yourself and trust your own ambition to be hungry enough to learn, even when you're sitting at your desk or whatever 9 to 5 you have. Don't sit and become complacent. Sit and learn, continuously grow,
Right.
even through blogs or just online courses. Use Udemy. You know, they have really good deals on Udemy. But just always continue to grow your knowledge and soft skills. Because that's what's going to not only get you more jobs if you want to stay in your 9 to 5, but it's going to get you clients. It's going to help you learn how to communicate with others. Communication is so important when you are trying to get your first client or your second client, or even just getting your network.
Or
You
get
know,
your interview. Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I've gotten called back to a 9 to 5 contracting job because I met someone in passing, because I helped troubleshoot them from another command or another area, another office. And they remembered me. So I made a lasting impression through my communication and through my authenticity, genuinely wanting to help and seek to solve their problems. If you have that genuine authenticity about yourself, others will see it too, and you'll
Yes.
be the first person that they think of when a problem arises or when a new job arises. You'll be on their mind, and that's just how it. That's how it works. I always work with integrity first, doing what you say you're gonna do, and then also trusting and believing in yourself. My faith. I'm a Christian. So my faith is in God, Jesus.
Yeah.
And in addition to that, I'm making sure that I'm walking in my purpose. And you can't walk in your purpose in fear. Right?
Sure can't. That's a true
And so when
statement.
if you're learning to walk in fear, you will never get to your full potential. And that's so important. You have to believe in yourself, because if you don't, who else is going to believe in you? Who's going to hire someone that's saying, maybe. Is that
Yes.
good? I
That is
don't
so
know. Like,
true.
I'm not sure. No, they're going to hire somebody who is confident, or if they don't know, is willing to go find the answer. And I'm not talking about find the answer a year from now. Like, can you Google? Right? Google is the best, you know,
It's
thing
my
you can
go-to.
have about yourself, right? It's like a side job, right? Learning how to Google. It's a tactic. It's a skill. And so just doing that. And so from there I've been doing SharePoint and enterprise corporate training for about 10 years now. I've helped freelancers with small businesses actually build and create their enclave of technology, so that they can take payments online, they can host online courses, they can just look and feel professional enough, so whereas their customers are trusting them to hand them their credit card. That's a big deal,
Yes, it is.
especially with today, it's not enough to be like, oh, my service is great.
Okay, please, can I get your credit card?
No,
No.
you cannot. Like, I don't know you. Like, and that's the whole point of building a network. Like, network and word of mouth is not dead. It's actually the best and fastest way to get your first client. So go to networking events, meet new people, even people on your job. You just never know. My network grew from people that I work with on a daily basis and just creating those relationships to whereas when I'm leaving, I still have relationship with them. So that's number one. Don't burn your bridges, right? Because you're leaving one
Shana,
space.
you got everything rolled up in here, girl. You got all my questions
Right.
rolled up in here.
Just because you leave in one place because another place is offering you 50 or 60K more, do not treat them like trash. Keep them in
It's your
your
reputation.
book. And you reach out to them every once in a while. Use social media, use LinkedIn. Hey, what's going on? How are you doing? I'm just checking in on you. Those things are so important when creating your career in your 9 to 5 and creating your business later on. I can't stress that enough. But that's really what got me started with Brand New Identity as well. I saw it actually started off as like a blog of just business stuff, and it's changed so many times.
Of course it does.
Over the course of the years.
It definitely evolves. Our business evolves.
But one thing that's never changed is my love for technology, my love to solve problems, and my love to help people who need technological problems or solutions. Like, I want to help those people. And as long as I focus on that, the money or the value exchange will just come as a byproduct.
Nice.
So that's how I got started. That's my story. And just passing. Oh, one other thing I wanted to mention is that the reason why I teach visionary is because while I was growing from having, I think I started off my career with 50K and it grew to 6 figures, is because literally, and I was just telling my aunt this the other day, when I was, I'm just driving and I see a speed limit that says 60. I might have been making 50 at the time, and I say, you know what, that's what I want to make. And you say it and you visualize it.
You have what you say, Mark 11:23.
Right? And so my next contract, I'm seeking 60K. And then I drove down and I see a 70, speed limit. I want to make that. This is things that I did, so it's not like just talking, but this is my experience of how you can visualize.
Yep,
and then I see 80. And then you see 100 and you see 6 figures. You have to see it first here before it actually comes to pass. And you have to see it and you have to sit in the thought of what would my life be like making that much money, because even something, the mentor that we had, she's like a millionaire, right?
Absolutely love Dr.
Big money.
Yes.
Big money. But one thing that she taught me and taught you as well is like you have to visualize the amount of money. You have to sit in it. So whether you want to make 20 or 50K a month, you have to sit in it and you have to say, what is that a year? You have to say, what will my life be like? How am I feeling on the inside? And it has to become one with you, and you will start acting upon it to bring it to life.
You'll be a magnet for whatever you affirm in your life.
Right. And that's what, ever since then, it's just putting it into practice and taking action. That's always a requirement in life. So,
Shana, that is awesome. Yes. Thank you so much for sharing your stories.
You're welcome.
Oh, man, because there were just a few things I just want to point out that was good. Backwards planning that you pointed out. You saw where you wanted to be and you were able to find out that path to get there. It's so important. You also mentioned like taking a chance on ourselves, affirmations. There were so much nuggets filled in your story that I didn't even have to say a thing. But I do want to open it up once more. If the audience want to connect with you more, how can they do that? Where can they find you?
Well, if anyone would like to connect with me, they can message me on Facebook. My handler is Shana Jones Live. On Instagram, it's Shana Limitless Jones.
Nice.
And I'm on LinkedIn as Shana Jones. But then also my website is brandnewidentity.com. You can fill out a contact form and just let me know what some of the things that you want or some of the things you want to get to do. Also, you can email me at support@brandnewidentity.com if you want to have a one-on-one. Just a moment to reflect on your current life space and just talk about your visions and your dreams for yourself, because that's where it starts at. And then I can work with you from there as a one-on-one person, your cheerleader in the background, and helping you plan out your action steps so that you can begin to create your containers and your nuggets for building one income source to 2 to 3 to 4, because it's just so important for you as an individual. So that's support@brandnewidentity.com is really the fastest way, or you can fill out a contact form on brandnewidentity.com. If you would like for me to speak at any of your events, say if you are in leadership, or one other place that I like to talk to is high schoolers, teenagers, who is just starting their visions. Our school system kills visions, and then when you go to college, now they're like, you got a dream. You're like, well, you killed that for the past 12 years, through standardization. So I do those types of events. I do events for Christian events, motivational speaking, any of those things. If you feel that my services or my pep talks or my inspiration speaking can do your audience some good, please fill out my contact form or email me again at support@brandnewidentity.com, and I will be more than happy to join you to help inspire others to see this vision as well.
Love it. Thanks so much, Shana. Those links that she mentioned, I'll definitely have those posted above, so that you'll be able to easily find her if you definitely want to connect with her more. Before I close it out tonight, thanks again. Do you have any last words before I just, welcome our guests to this week?
No, that's it. I'm just so happy to be here. I wanted to tell you, Della, like, this is like an awesome thing you're doing with the women in leadership. I think it's so important to hear the stories, the journey, because everyone sees the end result. No one sees the pain in between, and it's pain in between. Don't let anybody think that it's not pain.
The growth.
That's the truth, and the ones that try it for the first 2 months and they're like, forget this.
Yeah, this is
this takes years, but you're not broke for all the years. You're building, you're making money, you're making ends meet, but you're also building a life that fits you and the things that you like about yourself, and that's where the power is.
Yes.
And so I congratulate you, and I appreciate you by pulling out these great stories. I've been following the other, the other ones every night at 8:30. And I try to make a comment by replay or whatever. But I love hearing about the other people's stories. It's so inspiring. It's great. So
thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
So much. Well, ladies, I'm going to close it out tonight. Next week, we'll be back at it again Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. So join us then. Until next time, have a good night.
Bye.